From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now, the latest news.
Kylie Conway has the latest news. The top headlines. News you can use.
Please stand by.
Sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Monday, February 15th. We are just seeing the beginning of what is predicted to be quite the winter storm over the next 24 hours. This morning, we've seen slide-offs. Hundreds of plows are out. Both NDOT and DPW are out working nonstop to help clear the roads. It's so cold out, though, that salt is much less effective, so things are staying pretty slick. Right now, our Storm Track 8 team says we're seeing a break, but we'll get another round starting around lunchtime with some pretty heavy downfall at times, falling at a rate of about an inch an hour. Winds also pick up and make us close to 20 miles per hour at times. So that creates blowing and drifting snow, reducing visibility. So the total snowfall accumulation will be between 8 and 11 inches across the entire state. The highs are only reaching the mid to upper teens. So yes, again, it's going to be cold. But fortunately, since it is President's Day, a lot of schools and places are shut down, banks and so forth. So fewer people out on the roads, fewer school closings and delays. However, some closures are happening and delays, so you can find all of those on wishtv.com. And Hamilton County is under a travel advisory already. The county's emergency management tweeted overnight saying drivers need to use extra caution. The biggest concern are the bridges and overpasses. Officials say that those are the slickest spots throughout the morning. A more strict travel watch might be issued this afternoon when that heavier snow is expected. And in anticipation of the storm, the Bargersville Fire Department has put out a request. The department needs volunteers, asking anyone who owns snowmobiles or ATVs, if you do, would you be willing to help paramedics and EMTs get to patients? You can contact Bargersville Fire Department. The Indiana Red Cross has some advice for you. If you get stranded, first, stay in your vehicle. Do not leave your car unless you see that help is within 100 yards. Also, run your car occasionally to keep warm. They say to run your car for about 10 minutes every hour. Finally, leave the overhead light on when your car is running so that you can be seen. People with heart problems should take extra precautions during this cold weather and snow. Heart attacks are more common during the winter months. We talked with a doctor, Dr. Sandeep Dubey. He's a cardiologist at Community Health. Dr. Dubey says cold temperatures can cause vessels to shrink, which can raise blood pressure. He advises people with heart issues to avoid shoveling altogether or find ways to lighten the workload.
Make sure you warm up, do some stretching. And if you have to do any activity outside, break it out into shorter intervals rather than doing a big stretch, do 10, 15 minutes and take frequent breaks.
Dr. Dubey also suggests that people avoid drinking alcohol after spending time outside in the cold. In news away from the weather this morning, a pizza delivery driver is recovering after being shot by someone who tried to deliberately set them up. According to police, somebody called in for delivery to a vacant house on North Park Avenue near 40th Street and College Avenue. Police say when the driver pulled up to the house, someone demanded money and shot the driver in the stomach. They say the shooter ran away without taking any money. Medics took the worker to the hospital. Police did not announce his condition other than to say that the driver is stable. Police say the delivery was from a local pizza restaurant, so the car did not have any logo. More than 300 people have signed a new petition calling for the Newfield CEO to be removed after a controversial job posting Saturday. The posting described one of the duties as maintaining the museum's traditional core white art audience. The posting has since been changed to remove the word white. The petition is demanding changes to the museum board, changes to curatorial representation, and anti-racist training for staff. Petitioners are also asking Lilly Endowment and other groups to stop funding the museum. Also calls for the city of Indianapolis to create an equity clause that applies to any group that receives city funding. Family and friends are reflecting on the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. Yesterday marked 4 years since searchers found the bodies of the girls, a day after they'd gone out for a walk along a Delphi trail. Since then, state police have released a picture, an audio clip, and an updated sketch, but they have not arrested anyone. We spoke with Libby German's sister. She's studying forensic psychology at Purdue because of what happened to her sister.
Like
what law enforcement should be doing, the way they should have investigated. And so I can look at these people and be like, no, that's not what they should have been doing. They should have been doing this, or they should have been doing that. Or this is the law that says that they shouldn't have done that, or they should have said this. And so now I'm able to advocate for them and also pay attention to what our law enforcement is doing, and I can criticize them if they need it.
We reached out to state police over the weekend. Troopers tell us there are no new updates. If you have any information, state police ask you to email or call their tip line. We have that information at wishtv.com. Bipartisan support appears to be growing for more inquiries into the Capitol Hill insurrection. There's a call for full 9/11 style investigation. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham and Democratic Senator Chris Coons are two of the lawmakers who say they should be the next step. Legislation would likely need to be passed in order to create a commission like the one that investigated the September 11th attacks. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is also calling for an immediate review of the Capitol's security process. The Senate Rules Committee scheduled hearings on the riots for later this month. Another Republican senator faces censure from his own state party today. The North Carolina GOP is set to vote on Senator Richard Burr's vote to convict Donald Trump during his impeachment trial. The Republican Party of Louisiana voted over the weekend to censure Bill Cassidy for his vote. The party tweeted, "We condemn in the strongest possible terms the vote by Senator Cassidy. Fortunately, clear heads prevailed and President Trump has been acquitted of the impeachment charge." Cassidy defended his decision, saying the vote was a matter of defending the Constitution.
I was elected to uphold an oath to support and defend the Constitution. The majority of the people in Louisiana want that to be the case. And I have respected that trust. I have voted to support and defend the Constitution.
Cassidy, Burr, and 5 other Republicans voted alongside Democrats to convict Trump. Health experts are sounding a note of caution, even as COVID-19 numbers are trending in the right direction for most states. 40 states are reporting falling case numbers. Indiana's daily new case numbers are about 1/3 the levels of early January. Dr. Anthony Fauci warns the pandemic is far from over, as nearly 90% of Americans are not yet vaccinated.
I think we're going to be wearing masks for several months into the future.
The CDC now says anyone who wants a COVID-19 vaccine should be able to get one by late summer. The current count of COVID-19 deaths in America tops 480,000, and the projections from the University of Washington model says that 130,000 more could die by June 1st. Results of a new study show success of the Pfizer vaccine. Researchers in Israel found the vaccine reduces symptomatic infections by more than 90%. They studied 1.2 million people, half of whom were vaccinated. The rate of people who were infected and felt sick dropped by 94%. The amount of serious illness decreased by 92%. And health experts say the new data gives hope that the vaccine is as effective as promised. And today, you can go back inside the Indianapolis Public Library. The library is open for you to browse, use the computers, and check out books. If a location reaches capacity, guests will have a 1-hour time limit. The Central Library will always enforce that time limit due to its size. That location is on St. Clair Street. You must still wear a mask and social distance. Quick business headlines as Wall Street is closed this President's Day. The pandemic is pushing parents to go all in for homeschooling. Jane King reports.
As parents grow increasingly frustrated with remote learning during the pandemic, some are deciding to pull their children out of school altogether and try teaching on their own. The Wall Street Journal reports in North Carolina, the state's homeschool monitoring website crashed on the first day of enrollment, and more than 18,000 families filed to operate a homeschool from July 1st to January 22nd. In Connecticut, the number of students who left public schools to be homeschooled jumped 5-fold in the school year, and Nebraska, the number of homeschooled students jumped 56%, according to state education officials. Homeschooling in the U.S. has accounted for a small portion of all schooling since the 1970s, but it's been growing from a traditional base of education reformers and religious conservatives to families worried about issues such as bullying and violence. Homeschooling represented 3% of students nationally in 2016. That's according to the latest figures available. That compares with 88% for public and charter schools and 9% for private schools, according to the National Center for Education Statistics. But as the pandemic upends the school year, data from several states shows more parents decided for practical reasons to take control of their children's curriculum and schedule. Public school advocates say they worry that homeschooling is isolating for children and lacks safeguards to ensure a basic education. But Vanderbilt University's Joseph Murphy, who studies homeschooling, said there is scant evidence of abuse or widespread negative outcomes. Now, it isn't clear how long new homeschooling families will stick with it once public schools fully reopen, or even how the pandemic may have changed education forever. From New York, I'm Jane King with your President's Day Business Report.
It was a late and chaotic finish for the Daytona 500. A weather delay kept drivers off the track for hours, with the final laps happening 20 minutes after midnight. Final lap, top two contenders get tangled up. That leads to a chain reaction crash involving several drivers, including Kyle Busch and Bubba Wallace. The NASCAR Twitter page shared Wallace's view of the wreck, a bunch of smoke before flames flash outside of Wallace's car. NASCAR says all involved drivers are okay and were released from the infield care center. Long shot Michael McDowell was able to dodge the crash and pull ahead to win the race. This marks his first Daytona 500 win after 14 starts. This has been your News 8 Daily for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
The News 8 Daily 8 is sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast on News 8 Daily 8 with Kylie Conway. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.